Hello, and welcome to the Office of the Patriot. In this office, we try to make sense out of the nonsense of the progressive left and RINO right. I'm going to get right to the point. Libtards are the stupidest and thus some of the funniest damn people in the United States. So, to highlight their stupidity, we at the Office of the Patriot feel it is our duty to give them the attention they crave. First on the chopping block are administrators and educators at a high school in Albuquerque, New Mexico, who thought, hey, let's bring a trans stripper to a high school prom. Pedo much? Next, we have Hamas sympathizing idiot protesters outside of Columbia University yelling, "We are all Hamas and long live Hamas," all the while eating their BLT sandwich. I'm kidding about the BLT sandwich, but who knows? And finally, we have a social justice warrior who is claiming that eco anxiety, whatever the hell that is racist. So sit back, grab some snacks, and get ready to be exposed to some of the most ignorant people on this planet in this episode of Office of the Patriot. Okay, I'm going to get to the crux of this first idiotic and, quite frankly, illegal behavior endorsed by the school administration of Atrisco Heritage High School in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You have a scantily clad trans male who is parading around minors at a high school prom. Some of the students said that he was twerking and exposing his crotch. The first thing I thought of was when I saw this pedo that he was breaking the law. So, just a quick search of New Mexico Criminal Code, Article 6A, Section 36A3 notes that it is unlawful for a person to intentionally cause or permit a child under 18 years of age to engage in any prohibited sexual act or simulation of such act if that person knows or has reason to know or intends that the act may be recorded in any obscene visual or print medium or performed publicly. For those of you who aren't aware, an adult twerking at a prom where children congregate wearing what amounts to lingerie is pretty much the textbook violation of this criminal code. So now we have the obvious out of the way. What in the hell are these administrators thinking? What if it was their kids attending this prom? Further, I'm sure they don't allow their students who are attending prom to wear this type of clothing that this depraved and disgusting individual wore. I also found that the principal of this high school was recently removed from his position as a result of this incident, and a number of employees that had knowledge or were directly involved in allowing this pedo on campus were placed on leave. My position: each of these staff members who had knowledge of this performance should be charged as well or as a perpetrator of a crime. So, what do you think about that, Mike?
Oh my god. Where do I begin? Other than to say this is fucking bullshit. If I was the father of these kids, I don't know, I'd probably rip the administration a new asshole. I'd grab the principal and it wouldn't be pretty. I don't understand why people put up with this, but it's weird. People just go along with it. Um, and it's classic grooming, just like you said. They're trying to confuse the kids, I think, and it's textbook mind control. And it's all part of the great plan that WEF has. They want to usher in the Great Reset, so they basically want to enslave us to big government.
Agreed. Agreed. Children that don't recognize any type of boundaries will likely not recognize any authority, to include parents. Next, you have a group of uneducated pro Hamas, anti Israel protesters acting outside of what would be considered protected speech by harassing Jewish students at Columbia University. In the video, you see these cowards screaming at a Jewish student who was wearing an Israeli flag.
Keep it moving, you Zionist bitch. Keep it moving, you Zionist bitch.
We are Hamas!
You're Hamas, wow. That's a good one. You're what? You're Hamas?
Yes, we're all Hamas, pig!
I'm Hamas! Fuck you!
Get our face! No!
Okay, you've heard me talk about freedom and the right for people to protest pretty much anything their heart desires. Given that freedom has to be given in order to be received, I think it's fine that these morons want to display just how ridiculous and uneducated they are by endorsing a terrorist organization such as Hamas. And another thing, this is in New York City, the location where the largest terrorist attack on US soil had occurred just 2 short decades ago. And you have to be fucking kidding me. I mean, I get it. Most of these people were children still shitting in their diapers or swimming around in their dad's nutsack. So the experience of a terrorist hijacking a plane and flying into each of the Twin Towers and then watching the towers fall, killing thousands of Americans, isn't something they directly experienced. However, their parents did. Is this stuff not taught in schools? Did the parents not teach this? The sad fact is, these kids have no idea what the hell they're asking for. However, in my humble opinion, we should give it to them. I say, let's round their asses up, stuff them into a C-140, and let them live amongst the terrorists they are so eager to endorse. We'll come back for them, 6 months later if they want to, and I'm pretty sure they will want to. And then I'm pretty sure we will see a shit ton more gratitude from them after they experience what is likely or what it is to live completely subjugated and destitute. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. History is not the best teacher. People don't learn from history. They learn from experience. So I say, let's help them learn.
Yeah, those kids wouldn't last. They would last a day and then they'd shit their pants. They'd want to come home. They have no idea what those societies are like to women, to minorities, to especially the gay community. It's like they outright kill people. And they do honor killings. The parents think it's their duty to kill the people that are gay in their families. So they justify it that way. It's weird. But it reminds me of that PragerU video that you played for me before. So there was an American journalist who goes over there. I think he was in the West Bank. So he was interviewing the Palestinian people about that, and the vast majority of those people outright said they should gay people should either be jailed or killed. And then he came back and he played this. I think he went to San Francisco and he was interviewing gay individuals, men and women, and he asked them what they thought about the Palestinian and Jewish conflict, and they always seemed to, almost all of them felt that the Palestinians were the victims overwhelmingly. And after he played the video, showing what the Palestinian people thought about gay people, they quickly changed their tune. So it was a 180. It was awesome. But it just shows how, I would say, just naive or ignorant. I don't know what it is, but people here need a wake up call. It's ridiculous. I think the main problem is the Marxists indoctrinated kids. They infiltrated the schools of higher education, so they got that under control. So that's under their control, and now they've gone down into the high school and the lower, kindergarten through 12 level. So kids are just constantly bombarded with this Marxist agenda now. So they're all going to turn out 90% of them are going to turn out Marxists once they get through all this schooling. They're like sniveling, commie little bitches. and they need to be deprogrammed, but who's going to take the time to deprogram these freaking kids? Nobody wants to. It would be a pain in the ass. And, honestly, they wouldn't last a day over in Gaza. They're a bunch of fucking pussies.
Well, I absolutely agree with that. The thing is here, and this is where my position is, pain is an effective teacher. So I'm virtually certain that the experiences that they would receive in Gaza will have them appreciating the United States in no time. So no deprogramming necessary. And finally, we get to the everything is racist. This young lady who pulled out a thesaurus is going to lecture her audience about something called eco-anxiety. And she places the onus of this fabricated crisis squarely on the lap of white people. This position is so stupid. I'm actually almost embarrassed to show the video, but for the sake of transparency, here it is.
Eco-anxiety is an environmental justice issue that disproportionately impacts Black youth. Let's talk about it. According to the American Psychological Association, eco-anxiety is defined as a chronic fear of environmental doom, and that may include feelings of worry, guilt, shame, despair, and even hope. However, just as the climate crisis doesn't impact people and communities the same, neither does eco-anxiety. When we fully understand the relationship between social determinants of mental health and climate change, we begin to understand that the nature of a person's eco-anxiety is also informed by systemic factors that exacerbate the ways that it's felt and addressed. Communities of color, and particularly Black ones, are more vulnerable than white ones to sea level rise, wildfire, and heat waves linked to climate change. Black youth are more likely to reside in hotter regions that trap and radiate heat, have the highest asthma rates in the country, and are increasingly more likely to experience mental health illness, all while having fewer avenues to really access often life-saving resources, whether it be access to affordable health care or access to green space like tree canopy cover that can help mitigate extreme heat. When we couple contributing factors to mental health like poverty rates and white supremacy with generally worse exposure to environmental hazards and the climate crisis, we begin to understand how a racialized difference in eco-anxiety can emerge. And yet, in the midst of all of these disparities, Black youth continue to be sidelined and decentered in mainstream conversations around eco-anxiety, which really distinguishes this whole conversation as an environmental injustice. Because for Black youth, eco-anxiety isn't just a fear of having children in a climate future, it's also coupled with a fear of having children in an anti-Black world, period. In a world already failing to address a Black maternal health crisis, let alone a climate crisis.
So according to this budding psychologist, eco-anxiety is the chronic fear of environmental doom. Well, duh. If you keep telling gullible and mentally ill people like Democrats that the world is going to end because conservatives want to hunt or they want to fish or drive their SUVs, many of these people are going to suffer some type of anxiety. And who in the hell do you think perpetrated this crisis, or rather faux crisis? Democrats. She goes on to say that Black communities suffer more eco-anxiety as a result of wildfires and heat waves and anything linked to climate change. And the absurdity of this statement absolutely confounds me. Maybe she doesn't realize that Black Americans populate every state in our nation. So the heat that Black Americans in southern states are feeling is the exact same heat that Caucasian Americans living in the southern states are feeling. Now, here's the caveat. If one group doesn't have air conditioning, then they're likely going to be negatively impacted more than the person who does have air conditioning. And the last time I checked, both Black Americans and Caucasian Americans have access to air conditioning. Sweetheart, this is not a race issue. This is a wealth issue. If you don't want to have anxiety about the impact of weather on Black Americans, then get a damn job that pays you enough to afford air conditioning. And by that same metric, if Black Americans are in the hottest areas of the United States, that means the exact opposite. Caucasian Americans are in the coldest. And just a quick Google search will show you that for every heat-related death, there are between 7 and 9 cold-related deaths. Looks like her position on the impact of weather on Black Americans just went up in smoke. Damn, Mike, Are these fucking kids getting
Dude,
stupider or what?
holy shit, these fucking leftist snowflake assholes will never fucking stop. It's like they're offended by everything, like fucking everything. They find offense like in the ether. It's like fuck. Um, yeah, this genius needs to be slapped repeatedly until she just shuts the fuck up. I'm sick of this never-ending bullshit. Um, I'm a bigger victim. I'm the bigger victim. They always want to play, who's the bigger victim game. So I refuse to play the game. It's like, shut the fuck up. I just
Agreed.
want to bitch slap them. So, my dad had a good saying that, has never left me. Basically, he said, life isn't fair. And that has a lot of meaning. It's life isn't fair, but you have to deal with what you got. It's like everybody's dealt a different hand. Some people are born into a wealthy family. Some people are born into poverty. Um, you can't complain, you can complain about it, but that's not going to help yourself. Um, so the old saying, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I know AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, hates that term. She says it's bullshit, but it has meaning. It's, if you want to change your life, you have the power to change it. Nobody else is going to change it for you. So no, I'm not going to play the I'm a bigger victim game. Fuck you, fuck your game. And as a famous clown from the 90s used to say, homie, don't play that.
I agree. The unfortunate fact, though, and this is, like I said, it is an unfortunate fact that many homies do play that. There will always be people who are going to be disenfranchised and disadvantaged. And whether you remain in that category is entirely up to you. As a society, we should endorse the idea of equal opportunity and not equal outcome. And until this happens, leftists like our budding eco psychologists will have an audience to play to. This concludes today's presentation of Office of the Patriot. If you enjoy the content, please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our channel on your social media. It is appreciated. Also, please take the time to comment. Engagement is the major metric social media platforms like YouTube and Rumble and Facebook and the lot of them employ in their search algorithms. The more people that like and comment on this channel, the more the Office of the Patriot channel will come up when social and political content like this is searched for. And as always, have a blessed day and stay safe out there.